Cheers, everyone. I have Starsky today. I haven't smoked her in a while. I forgot about her, honestly. I was smoking Rainbow for the longest. Then I'm like, wait, Starsky is my homegirl. I can't forget about her. So let's see what she's doing. Go ahead and grab your gummies, your tinctures, your joints, your blunts, your bongs, your pipes, whatever. And let's just cheers to Aries season. Aries season, spring, a lot of good energy, a lot of new energy. I'm feeling better. I'm sorry that I haven't posted as frequently as I would hope. I think Pisces season kind of just wanted me to just lay low and relax. I kept recording, but I also didn't like the things I was recording. I think I was just being super hard on myself. I was like, oh, my nails keep popping off. I can't record until I get my nails done. Like, people are gonna talk about my nails. Like, that's not aesthetic. And I was just so in my head because, you know, you get on social media, you get on TikTok, YouTube, whatever. Everybody has these luxurious type lifestyles, and I just feel like I have to keep up with that. And it's like, first off, who gives a fuck? It's not my fault that my nails were popping off, okay? Because the nail tech that I went to, which is my first time getting my nails done here in Arizona, wasn't that great. I should have known. I only paid $45 for a fill-in. I'm used to paying like, I don't know, $75, $80, but it would last longer because I would go to like the freelance girlies. But I went to a nail salon and I just feel like they didn't really care, so I will be taking my coins back to the freelance girlies, okay? Because if I'm paying good money, I would rather them last. Like these were just popping off. Like they just weren't a good set. And yeah, so I was just beating myself up because I felt that everything had to look a certain way or present itself a certain way, and I'm like, I'm not fitting into the aesthetic lifestyles. And it's just like, fuck that. I don't have an aesthetic, and that is the aesthetic. The aesthetic is me. I'm the niche, right? Niche, I don't even know. Today is about me being a cannamom. If you don't know what a cannamom is, that is a mom who consumes cannabis. And it's just me bringing awareness to it as a mom, as a black woman, and how cannabis helps me in every part of my life. Not just recreationally, more on the medicinal side these days. It helped me during pregnancy. Let's do the fake outrage right now. You consumed during pregnancy? Yes, I did. I was a little nervous. I didn't really speak about it during pregnancy, just because I knew there would be judgments and just ignorant people, because I know I was once an ignorant person in regards to the subject matter, and I didn't really want to, you know, feel any of that during pregnancy. But now, 13 months postpartum, here I am loud and proud, and I, you know, encourage other moms who are thinking about it, letting them know safe ways they can consume if they choose to during pregnancy or while they are breastfeeding. Because I did during both. Smoked while I was breastfeeding every single day, and I smoked for the first 2 trimesters of my pregnancy. How did we get there? I always knew when I was pregnant, I would stop smoking. I was a super heavy smoker before I got pregnant. Smoking multiple Dutches a day. I was a big blunt girly, spending about $120 a week on weed, buying a half every week. Not the best relationship with it. I was honestly just smoking it because I can. I probably did have an unhealthy habit. I'm a Taurus, so you know, we got that oral fixation thing going on. It's not even really being high or the effects, more so just me having something to smoke that I knew was fairly healthy, even though it kind of wasn't because I was smoking blunts. But, you know. So when I found out I was pregnant, I found out super early through a blood test at 4 weeks, I stopped consuming immediately. And it was fairly easy. I didn't even think about cannabis at all until week 7 came, and I was so sick. I remember the day I woke up. It was July 3rd. I remember it. July 3rd, I was so sick. I couldn't move. I was throwing up. I couldn't keep anything down. No water, no nothing. I remember my cousin was visiting me in town, and she was one of the first people who offered that. She was like, why don't you just hit your bong? I'm like, what? And she had a child at that time. She was like, yeah, I had to do it a couple times, you know, when I was pregnant. She was like, it'll be okay, your baby will be okay. And I'm like, no, it's okay, like it'll pass over, you know. I wasn't too pressed. Like, This is part of the game. You're pregnant, you get sick, right? It'll go away. But I think by like day 3 and I hadn't kept anything down, I was like, there's something wrong. Like, I am not giving any nutrients to my baby. How is the baby supposed to make it past this first trimester, this critical, you know, time of development in the womb? He was not gonna make it, you know? So that's when I started asking some other friends that I knew that had children at that point, hey, what did y'all do during pregnancy for sickness, nausea, you know, things like that? And somebody else said, you know, oh, I smoked my entire pregnancy. What? So now I'm like, all right, this is a thing. My cousin now said this. Her child is perfectly fine. My other friend's now saying this. By this point, she's had 2 kids and she's consumed during both of those pregnancies. Both of those children are fine. I'm like, I need to do research on this. So I'm like, you know, tell me more. I'm like, you can do that? And she's like, of course, you know, Google will say not to. But she was like, there's not really much research out there. She was like, they're just going to say no because, you know, it's a drug, right? And she was like, you have to really dive deep to find research. So I'm a research girly. I'm a 9th house stellium. I love having the facts. I love knowing the statistics and the truth about certain things. So I compiled up a list of sources as I was researching. Of course, I had to go to .edus and like people who actually conducted research. Most of them were not in this country or the last few years or so, but it still applied. So I compiled up my list, multiple sources, and they all basically tied into the same conclusion. There is no direct correlation between cannabis consumption and any sort of birth defects. But there was a lot of correlation in regards to tobacco. I knew I didn't even think about smoking blunts during pregnancy. But I was like, okay, that makes more sense. Of course, cannabis is a plant at the end of the day. And you are going to sit here and tell me that our ancestors weren't using this plant that's been around for generations on generations? Like, they were definitely into herbs and plant medicine back then. That was their medicine. So, you know, things just started to click a little bit more for me. But I'm like, these doctors will hurry up and prescribe these pregnant women pharmaceutical drugs that do have correlation or direct ties to birth defects. But they won't tell you that because, of course, we got to keep Big Pharma in the game. But I feel like Big Pharma is necessary for some things. This is not a whole, you know, anti-Big Pharma. But I also think plant medicine is a essential that should be just legal all off rip across the board, medically and recreationally, everywhere. But definitely just medically, because if anything, it's always had medicinal healing properties. And that's what helped me during my pregnancy. It helped me keep food down. It helped me accomplish day-to-day tasks. I still had a business I was running, and I couldn't run that from the bed and not surviving, not having any water, no food, none of that. So it literally saved my pregnancy. I am 100% confident that cannabis is the reason that my baby is alive and well right now. He came out bigger, 9 pounds. That was always, you know, a thing that doctors were trying to say, oh, it's correlated with low birth weight. All babies are different. The point of the matter is I still had a pretty big baby even though I consumed those first 2 trimesters. And my midwives were very supportive of my decision. I did start off seeing an OBGYN. That quickly ended because I did not feel safe. I did not feel it was intimate enough. She shunned me for my usage, and it was just a lot going on, which led me to my midwives. And of course, that's a more holistic way of giving birth. No epidural, no hospital, nothing, just straight you and Mother Earth. And they were used to having clients who consumed cannabis during pregnancy. And they always told them the same thing, just like they told me. Cool, do what you want, but try to stop by the 3rd trimester. After the 3rd trimester, if you're still smoking, it will most likely be in the baby's system when they test at birth. And they only would test if something were to happen during my labor and they had to transfer me to the hospital. They were like, hey, if birth goes well, you give your baby here. We don't drug test or anything like that at birth. You will be fine. But she was like, if we go to the hospital, something happens during birth where it doesn't go according to plan, we can't promise that they won't and that they won't have any sort of CPS involvement. Okay, that makes sense. And thankfully enough, by the 3rd trimester, I didn't need it anymore. At that point, the sickness was gone. You know, I was able to still have my energy back. Of course, I was just big, but everything else was manageable. And I went the entire 3rd trimester without consuming. First thing I did again, though, in labor was hit my dab pen, and that did work for a little bit, but after a certain point, even the pen wasn't helping those contractions. That was literally the most painful and traumatic experience of my life. But maybe that'll be a story for another time. The point of the matter is, cannabis is what helped me throughout my pregnancy. Cannabis is also what helped me during breastfeeding. Same rules apply. Yes, of course, like anything, cannabis passes through the breast milk, but it passes at super, super, super small traces, not enough to get the baby high, not enough for the baby to feel any sort of effect. Super small, which I have also found in my studies, which I'll probably link below so y'all can have access to them just in case y'all just, you know, open-minded. You're like me, you want to see the facts, you like to see numbers. I will link my sources below. If y'all have any sources, of course, comment them down below. I love reading new research on the subjects. But yes, it helped me be in tune with my body enough to let my milk let down work effortlessly for my baby. It helped my milk supply, because a big thing with breastfeeding is stress. If you are stressed and you're just not really like in tune and like relaxed while you are breastfeeding, it's going to be harder for that milk output to flow. Cannabis helps relax me. Cannabis helped me and my baby just be in tune while he was nursing, to be able to allow him to feed properly and to allow me to just be in tune enough to where I'm not stressed. I am at peace enough to let my milk flow down effortlessly to my baby so he can eat. And he is not getting high. In the beginning of my breastfeeding days, I bought test strips from CVS and I would test my milk just to make sure, because I was still paranoid. Even though I did the research during pregnancy and everything, I was still scared, and it always came up negative every time. And I'm looking at him, he's just fine. And I also had to remember that we humans, we have an endocannabinoid system in all of our bodies, including babies. You can practically say we are meant to be consuming cannabis, whether that is THC, CBD, Delta 8, whatever the case may be. These cannabinoids are here, and we have a special place and function in our body that interacts with it, that helps us with mood, appetite, sleep, pain, things of that nature. So yeah, that was the only thing I took during pregnancy, was cannabis. I never needed to take any pills, any sort of injections, you know, that the doctors would try to give you. I didn't need any of that, because cannabis helped with all of my medicinal worries during those areas of my life. And of course I didn't smoke as much. I literally took a bong rip here or there throughout the day, maybe about 2 or 3 times a day, just to keep me going. And then by that point, my tolerance had completely lowered. Even now, still to this day, 13 months postpartum, I stopped breastfeeding at 1 year, and I pretty much kept a low tolerance up until that point, not smoking too much. Okay, I still have to be a parent. I don't have time to just be sitting around high all day like I used to be. Just enough to give me that little boost, my little coffee zap, and continue on about my day. And now here I am, I haven't breastfed in a month, and I've been smoking a little bit more now, but still definitely not as much. I still can't finish a joint in one sitting, when back in the day I could face like 3-4 blunts. But that's good too, because like now I have a stronger relationship with cannabis. And now, since starting blazing with Bree, I've consumed cannabis on so many different levels. Like, I used to say CBD don't do shit, but I'm maturing now. CBD does do something. You just might have too high of a THC tolerance to maybe see the effects of CBD, but CBD does its thing too. I've been having gummies and tinctures and CBD coffee, hemp tea, and hemp lube. I've been trying all these different things out and just really exploring, because it doesn't have to always be smoked. I love still a preference to smoke, just because I feel like that's the fastest effect. And once again, I have oral fixation. Everything else, you kind of have to wait for it to kick in. I don't like waiting. Sorry, I'm an Aries moon. I ain't waiting for shit. But still, I've been getting to study more and learn more about the plant and just gain more of a respect for her. A respect for her that I didn't have before I became a mom. Motherhood strengthened my relationship with cannabis. Cannabis is for mothers. It came from Mother Earth. I feel like it's for us. It's for everybody, but it's really for us. I feel like if you are someone who consumes cannabis already, recreationally, medicinally, because let's face it, Even if you're using it recreationally, you're still getting those healing benefits from it medicinally. Whether you know it or not, it's always healing you medicinally when you consume cannabis. The best advice I can give to cannamoms or people who are thinking of becoming cannamoms, whether that is consuming during pregnancy, whether that's consuming while breastfeeding, maybe even neither, but just consuming as a mother in general, because people just act like once you become a mom, once you have kids, you just can't smoke weed anymore, but we can still get drunk and do all this other stuff. And I'm not a real drinker like that. I like to have a cute little margarita every now and then, but I am a smoker, and that's what I'm going to do. And we shouldn't still have this big of a stigma on cannabis, a plant that has been around for so long. And I think it's because it's still illegal in some places. A lot of places still have that huge stigma on it, so people are going to think it's a drug. So of course people are going to be, oh, you consume while you're pregnant? But meanwhile in states like California and Oregon, they're prescribing medical cannabis toward pregnant people. And that's because these states, you know, there's more education, there's more resources in regards to cannabis, when in places like Texas, where I spent during pregnancy, you didn't have that. They had Delta 8, but I really didn't see the point of it, because even though it's legal, it still shows up on a drug test. So even if I were to give birth at a hospital and they decided to drug test me, that Delta 8 would still come up. So it's like, you couldn't really win. So my advice is to first and foremost read your laws. I know in most states they do not take away kids for consumption of cannabis, but it still might be some sort of hassle or some sort of routine that they might do. Each hospital is also subject to change. Not every hospital drug tests at birth, so that's another thing. I feel like if you are having a low risk pregnancy, try to look into the midwives if you don't care to, you know, have the epidural and things like that and just want to trust your body to do what it's made to do. Try to go that route, because they are more intimate. They make you feel more safe. You know, they encourage plant medicine because they are known to practice more holistic tendencies. And honestly, it was less expensive than the hospital, but like I said, you don't get that choice of the epidural. You know, that could be a deal breaker for a lot of people. I also say if you're going to be a Cannamom, be secure in being a Cannamom, knowing that you're not harming your baby, knowing that you got to do what you have to do to be the best you, which in return reflects back onto your child. Also, raising your child to know about cannabis. You shouldn't have to hide it. You shouldn't have to shun it to your kids. They can know that it's a plant. They can know that, of course, that they can't consume it at their small ages, but they should know about it. They should know that it is mommy's medicine. They should know that it grows, it comes from the earth, and all the things about it, just so they can grow up. And that helps end that stigma on cannabis that should have been ended however many years ago, centuries ago, decades ago, whatever the fuck. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I think that's really it. I love being a Cannamom. I think now, even though I stopped breastfeeding when my baby turned 1, I still consume every day. I find that it helps me get silly. You know, I'm always, you know, I find a good sativa where I'm giggly. I get to play with my baby, get to have my imagination, get to have that inner child going. Finding a good indica to relax me after a day of maybe feeling a little touched out for my toddler and just things of that nature. It grounds me. I have a more intentional and healthier relationship with cannabis that I feel like I couldn't get before until I became a mom. That's me being a Cannamom. I'm sure I'll talk about it more throughout. I do have Instagram posts on it, so make sure to follow my Instagram where I talk more about cannabis while pregnant, cannabis while nursing. I will link my sources down below as well. Of course, if you have questions, drop them below in the comments. I don't know what else I'm doing this week. I do know I have brunch coming up with a mutual on Twitter, so I'll probably try to film then. We are also thinking about getting a Costco membership. We literally live like right next door to Costco. Y'all know me and my man, we both tourists, so what that means, we love to eat. But this little toddler, he is out eating us. And now we're at the point where we're like, we might just need to get a Costco membership because we are spending a lot of money on groceries where we could be getting more bang for our buck doing the wholesale groceries. So I think we're gonna go that route, so try to film some of that too. I need to just honestly breathe and relax. It took me so long to put out this video because, like I said, yes, I did feel a theme of just needing to rest, but also I was being super hard on myself to make this aesthetic life and trying to have specific types of content, but it was just taking the fun out of this. And vlogging is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be my new creative endeavor. So I'm done being all Virgo Mars perfectionist about what I'm putting out. People are gonna like it or they're not going to like it, and that's okay because I like it. So it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. So just remember that. So we're gonna talk soon. Kind of need to smoke again. Come along with me for the rest of the week. You can't really see it too well, but look at those mansions in the mountains. When I saw that for the first time, I was like, oh yeah, that's our end game. That's where the fuck we're gonna live. So my new friend recommended this black-owned brunch spot called Brunch and Sip. The wait was over an hour, so you know we had a in the car. That's Tiara, she's so cute. The ambiance was really great. They had a DJ. It was half indoor, half outdoor. The drinks were really good. I had a frozen pomegranate drink. She had something that was peach and whiskey-like. I got my brunch go-to, which is shrimp and grits. She had a fried chicken biscuit with gravy and potatoes. Overall, I definitely give the restaurant a 9.5 out of 10. I will definitely be back. So I know y'all know, obviously I'm a cannabis content creator mostly, and I am partnered with a couple different hemp, CBD, THC brands. But y'all, not even on no ad promo shit, just CBD, this brand. I'm sure a lot of you have seen their products, maybe on Instagram or whatever the case may be. I've had my fair share of gummies, especially working with brands, and I don't think I've promoted any gummies from any brand because I hold myself to high standards, and I really only like promoting things that I actively use. So if you see me posting it, I'm using it. So there's just some brands that have been sending me their products, and even though the gummies might taste good, they might leave like a sticky feeling on your teeth, or maybe they're not as potent as they claim to be, or just whatever reasons that I haven't like actually actively talked about it like on my page or anything like that. But y'all, Just CBD sent me these CBD gummy bears. They also sent me these watermelon slices that have CBD and THC in them. And they sent me a tincture. I haven't tried the tincture yet. Actually, I did try a drop of it on my tongue. It doesn't really taste like anything, so I'm probably gonna add it to my teas and stuff. But these motherfucking gummies, bitch. First off, I like gummy bears. The Haribo, these taste just like them. Like, me and my man, we just keep eating these, and like, I feel so good. Like, it's CBD, so it's not like I'm getting high or anything like that, but like, I feel good. I feel relaxed. Like, serving size is 4 pieces. It's 10 milligrams of CBD per gummy. So serving size is 4 pieces, which is about 40 milligrams of CBD. That's not a lot for someone like me per se, but it could be just a good amount for you. But I cannot stop eating these. Like, they literally taste like gummy bears. Yes, I do have a code with this brand, BWB20, if y'all are looking for a discount or anything like that. But I just needed to put the people on because, like, I literally can't stop eating. They make you feel good. That's all I can say. And they have like a bunch of other different flavors, not just these two. They got peach rings. They just got a whole bunch of different shit. And I'm pretty sure they ship anywhere. So get into it. We are officially Costco members, executive members at that. So today we are going to be doing our first grocery shopping trip at Costco as a family. We decided to go with Costco because we all eat a lot. Me, Tom, and baby. We all eat so much, and we are tired of spending $200+ every week on groceries. So we're going to see how Costco works for us. Come with us to Costco. Y'all, these Costco folk don't be playing, because we came right when it opened and that parking lot was already crazy. As soon as we walked in, I was already a little overwhelmed. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this, but I definitely still enjoyed the experience. You definitely get much more for your buck here. They have so many different meats sold at large quantities. We were able to get shit like lamb chops and steak and chuck beef. Y'all, we was just throwing shit in the motherfucking cart. Like, we had to make sure that our first Costco trip was a worthwhile experience. So as you can see, we got a lot of different things. We end up spending about $530, but look at how much meat we got. And when I say pounds on pounds of meat, I mean pounds on pounds of meat, baby. We got our produce, we got our meals prepared, pastas, snacks, milks, and creamers. The membership is definitely worth it, especially if you have a little one, because their deals on diapers and wipes is just amazing. And later in the evening, we took our family walk. We try to do this at least 5 times throughout the week, just to go out there, be one with nature, get some sunlight, soak up these views and this good sun before it turns into bad sun during the peak of the summer. I'm always so amazed to see cactus, because I went from seeing cactus only on TV to now cacti being everywhere around me. But I love it, and I also love that we get our Florida fits with these palm trees here. Arizona is by far the prettiest state I've lived in. I cannot wait for these summer sunsets that I keep hearing about, because the ones I've been seeing are already gorgeous. My baby is so cute. I love him so much. He just makes me so happy. Oh! It's just something about knowing that I created life that sits so beautifully with me. And of course, Therese wanted to say hello to y'all. But that's pretty much it. Thank y'all for tuning into this video, and we will be talking soon.